Hello. It's that one guy that you might have heard of maybe. It's Encyclopedia Man. Wow! Whoa! Oh my gosh. No way. The guy, I'm alive. What a shocker. Somehow after quite the hiatus and a really awesome hiatus at that where nothing bad happened, totally not. Welcome to the Shower Thoughts podcast. Today I have a pretty cool special little guest, good pal of mine and a person with at least 4 chromosomes. My friend Harley, say hello to the interweb.
Oh,
There she is, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Shower Thoughts podcast. Please stay tuned for episode 479. But yeah, no, yeah, welcome, Harley. Welcome to this silly little thing. How are you doing today?
thank you.
Yeah, you doing good?
How am I doing?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
You're doing spectacular, even.
Yeah,
One might
yeah,
even
how are
say
you?
the best they've ever been. Me, I'm I'm cooked. Literally, I got cooked today in the sun for 9 hours, and same with the past 2 days. It's hot out. It's getting
Yeah,
warm. At least in Canada land, it's getting warm.
it, it really is.
I I am
Yeah,
just
no, it's. Oh,
yeah. I'm straight up being cooked. By the end of this week, I
mm,
might just be a piece of leather.
yeah, no,
How are you doing? How are you
yeah, no,
fending in the sun as a woodland creature who does not see the sun ever?
I'm pretty pale.
A little bit. I from what I
It
remember.
honestly sucks.
Yeah. I assume you
Yeah,
just go
it honestly
straight to
really
cooking.
sucks.
You just cook immediately.
Basically, as soon as I wake up.
Just at the mere thought of the sun, you start to cook.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's well, this is your first time here. You got yourself any questions and whatnot?
Not currently.
No, nothing going on in the brain. If you got one of those, I've heard they're all the talk nowadays. I
No, that's true. That's
I don't know how
true.
to get one though. I that nobody's talking
I
about
mean,
links where to
I
buy
do
them.
have some shower thoughts.
Oh, really? You have yourself a shower thought?
Yeah.
What are the chances that
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask if you perchance had a shower thought? I would love to hear
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah, so let us hear these shower thoughts of yours. Have you had any thoughts in your shower?
Yeah, definitely.
You got a couple that
So,
are within memory?
yeah, just a couple. So, I've been thinking, okay,
You've been thinking.
this is
Very shocking.
probably one of the yeah, I've been thinking it's maybe like one of the most questions to ask most of the time. So,
Right.
does a straw have one hole or two?
Ooh.
Because I feel
Oh boy.
if we're talking about holes specifically, okay, technically it will be two. But since the straw is cylindrical, it only has one hole going straight through.
Yeah, it's not a piece of paper. And even then,
Yeah, because
technically,
there's a beginning
paper
and an end.
has width to it. It, it, a question like that becomes difficult because we just have different interpretations of what is and what isn't a hole. Like a hole in a piece of paper and a hole in a Pringles can are somehow the same, even though one of them only
Mhm.
has one entrance and exit. It's not a continuous thing. It's all the same spot. A Pringles can truly does have one hole, but does a straw or a piece of paper have one hole? Or is it well, like it has a separate entrance and exit, but does that make it two holes, or is it just one hole that's a little different than a Pringles can hole or a cup? Are those even
Yeah,
holes, or is that just an opening? Actually, that goes into a completely different type of thing that has an actual
yeah.
study and like scientists and stuff. I forget what it's called exactly, but there is a thing that you can go out and
Hmm.
study, and it's about holes and not holes. I think basically there's a joke within the community.
Yeah.
Again, I completely forget whatever this thing I'm talking about is called. It's the study of holes or something like that. But basically, a donut and a mug are the same thing.
Yeah.
And you might ask, how on earth would a donut and a mug be the same? It's the fact that they both have only one hole. And you might think, well, a mug has two. There's the handle, and then there's the stuff you put the liquid in. But basically, if you were to
Yeah.
mold that mug differently, let's say it's made out of clay, you could mold it so that, entrance to pour liquid into, you could just flatten that out and then it wouldn't be there anymore. And then you'd just be left with the hole for the handle. That you can't really squish because then you'd actually be getting rid of the hole, you know? But I think even in their thing, they don't really
Yeah.
discuss, elongated holes like straws or t-shirts. Like, how many holes does a t-shirt have? Like, you think the straw question is difficult.
Hmm.
What about a t-shirt? It's got four entrances, but does that, what does that mean? Like, are those, is
That's a
that,
good question.
hmm? What was that you said?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it
how many
is. It
holes
is.
does a T-shirt have?
It's it's difficult. I don't know. I don't
Huh.
like it. It makes my lack of a brain hurt. Is not good.
Yeah. Really.
Um, you know, a funny thing, speaking of holes, if you take a fish net and you rip the holes, you actually end up with less holes. If you start tearing the net apart,
No, that's
the more you tear it, the
yeah.
less holes you'll have.
That's true.
And if we're really gonna get
Okay.
into holes, why don't we talk about the holes on humans? How many holes does a human have? Now that is a complicated question
I
that
think
doesn't really have a solid answer because most of our
that's true
entrances
because
and
technically aren't.
exits are actually all of them, like most of our entrances and exits are actually all connected to one another, and there are so many more than you think there are. And it also depends what is considered an entrance and
Oh
an
yeah, no,
exit because we
definitely.
have so many sphincters throughout our body, and surprisingly, not just the butthole
True.
sphincter. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch in your throat. That's how we swallow and stuff. I think there's like two in your stomach as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of holes. I think we have like 13 at
Yeah.
most or something, or like 27. It's a big number. It's a really big
Yeah.
number.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
No, see, now if we're
it's
getting
weird.
technical when it comes to holes in the human body, technically pores are holes in your skin.
That's true. That's a lot of
It
holes.
just doesn't
That's
go
that's
all
an
the way through.
uncountable amount of holes,
No.
at least for a
That's
person to try and
probably
count.
not all. True.
It's just just a couple. We got a couple, at least three holes. It's
Yeah.
holy holes, many holes, many holes. So with all of those questions and no answers, why don't we go to your next shower thought? Do you have another for us today? Because I don't think we're very
You were
qualified.
cutting out so bad there.
My bad. I'm too holy. I got too many
Oh,
holes
good.
in my fabric of space-time.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was just asking, since we are not very smart nor qualified, let's just leave all of those questions without answers and go to your next shower thought if you have one for us.
If I have another shower thought,
Yeah, do you have another one on hand? Another one to take out of the pocket, throw on the table?
yeah, yeah,
So what do we got? What
yeah.
do you have for us?
Okay, so you know how fruit is so when it comes between vegetables and fruit and stuff, right? A fruit is considered something that has seeds in it
Okay.
because that's how fruit works. And so if tomatoes are a fruit, then isn't ketchup a jam?
Oh, so we're getting into the ketchup debate. We're going into that one, are we? A
Mhm.
jam. I've heard it be called a lot of things, but jam is not one. I've heard it be called a juice, an energy drink, a smoothie, but not a jam.
Oh.
And jam is interesting. Also, what did you say a tomato was?
Yeah, because like tomato's a fruit.
Yes, a fruit. Yeah, yeah.
Tomato's a fruit, so yeah.
Hmm. Truly a question for the area. What is ketchup and things like that when they're made from that? Because at the end of the day, condiments aren't really anything. It's a pretty broad term. Like, would you? I don't know if I'd necessarily compare like a ranch dressing or not ranch, like a balsamic dressing. I don't think I would compare that to mustard. They're not really
Yeah.
the same thing at all.
No.
No, they're very different.
No.
And then like I don't know, we let's say we throw out the title of condiments. What the heck are all of our condiments? What is mustard? What is ketchup? What is relish? Relish isn't really like the other two either, even though it falls in the same category because of the existence of hot dogs and the fact that all three typically go together in your classic American barbecue. Yeehaw. Oh yeah, happy 4th of
Mhm.
July, all of you Americans. I'm only literally like 2.5 weeks late.
Yeah.
Man, it's been 2 weeks since the 4th of July. I remember it like it was literally under a week ago. I need to see a doctor about my time perception. Anyways, condiments, they're pretty
Probably.
crazy. Condiments are weird. None of them are alike
True.
one another. It's like comparing us to bananas
Mhm.
because we have like 97% DNA match or something, but have you looked at a banana? They're not that similar to us. Not really, especially in taste. Very different taste.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember. I don't
Yeah.
know when you've had your last human barbecue, but you don't see any bananas there,
No. You don't.
except for '07. Except for then, there was a lot of bananas. But we don't need to go into that. I'm sure it's a harsh memory for you, as it is many others. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
condiments, jam. What would that make mustard? What is mustard then? If ketchup is supposedly a jam, what's mustard?
Okay, so technically, what I mean is because tomato is a fruit and fruit into jam, which is
Right,
hence ketchup because ketchup is made from tomatoes.
but I think it's all about the
Most
process and what's in
it
it.
really depends on what kind of mustard you get.
That's fair. But
Yeah,
when I've heard
because
about all of the arguments with ketchup being a other things, like some people would argue it's a juice, and people would deny that by saying like, well, it can't be a juice. Look at the ingredients it has and the percentages of the ingredients, and people are like, oh yeah, you're right. It's got a bunch of salt and stuff in it, and like I don't remember. I think they mainly talked
yeah,
about salt, and they're like, okay, well, it's an energy drink, and then they're like, well, no, it can't be an energy drink. I don't remember what other excuses they threw, but then I think they ended it on it being a smoothie, and I hate how accurate a smoothie actually would be for ketchup. Although I don't think
yeah.
I you could ever catch me drinking ketchup with a straw. Now I will embarrassingly admit I have I have consumed gravy like by the cup, not like in a drinking cup, but like in its little cup while I was at a. I actually did it in public of all
Yeah.
things while I was completely alone. I felt very shameful.
Mm.
I was at a food court and I was eating a
Wait,
bunch of food and I finished all my food, but I still had like so much gravy left in the little canister they gave me. So I shamingly looked around, like I
mhm.
looked left and right to make sure no one was looking at me, and I took swigs of it and sips of it, and I drank most, if not all of it, over the span of like 5 to 10 minutes. And man, I hate to say how
Oh,
much of a guilty pleasure it was. It was so good. Gravy is so good. You know,
yeah, that's true. Gravy is pretty
it makes
good.
me embarrassed for Americans that they somehow don't have like the most American thing ever: fries smothered in melted cheese and gravy. Like I don't like I get it. It's poutine. It's got a weird name. It comes from I think it's somehow French related because of
Yeah.
Quebec, because I think they made it. But still, it is like not they don't have poutine, which is the bomb, but America also doesn't have donaires, which honestly kind of makes them losers. I'm sorry, America, but you don't really have the existence of donaires, and that's embarrassing. Really, really embarrassing. You guys are missing
It's
out on a very
yeah,
interesting sandwich of sorts. No poutine,
yeah,
no donaires, probably no butthole, because this guy feeds off radiation.
no balls,
I don't know.
no dick, no gravy,
No
no
gravy.
poutine.
Absolutely no gravy, no poutine. They don't got nothing. They'll deep fry water, but they can't get poutine. I don't know. I think that's an
Nothing.
L. I think that's a bit of an L on them. Again, I'm sorry, America. You
Okay,
guys had your birthday like
this,
2 weeks ago,
yeah,
but what can you do? It ain't my fault. Not my
yeah,
fault.
womp womp,
Yeah, big womp womp on them.
big womp womp, big L on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this isn't really like a shower thought because just speaking of food in particular, okay, I am so picky when it comes to food, like poutine, for example. Okay, I like fries, I like certain types of cheese, and gravy, right? There's only a
Right.
few places where I'll actually eat gravy, and that's either my papa's that makes it KFC, which actually isn't that bad, and I think Mary Brown's, because honestly, their chicken sandwiches are just
I've honestly
delicious.
never. I've never eaten at Mary Brown's, but I have my reasons for specifically Mary Brown's. But I have heard that they have very good food. Are they mainly a chicken place?
Yeah, and
I actually don't know what the inside
I
of a
think
Mary Brown's is like at all, nor their menu. Is it kind of like a diner in any
it's like
sense?
brown and red. I mean, technically, it's just like a regular fast food restaurant,
Okay, yeah. So it is
honestly.
just fast
But
food.
it's like yeah, it's not like it's not bad food at all. Obviously, not the healthiest as most
Yeah,
fast
it's
food
fast food. At the end of the day,
places
that's what it's gonna be like.
like
Yeah.
McDonald's and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it, you know.
Right.
Um, so like with poutine, um, I don't like potatoes at all, unless I don't like most food unless it's
Yes, I'm
like
I'm
deep
very
fried,
well. I
especially
I
when
am
it's
well
French
aware
fries.
about you and your picky food. You you
I
you
know. Okay,
you
so like,
go
uh,
eat chicken
I will not
nuggets
touch
for the rest
cabbage
of your
raw.
life.
I will only eat it boiled. Potatoes, I will only mostly have them with like French fries, like just like regular French fries. That's it, you know.
Mm-hmm. You're missing out
Anything
on
else
so much
potatoes, I will
food.
not
It's so
touch.
crazy. I don't know. I gotta say, I'm so happy. I am a vegetable enjoyer. Like, I don't know if you're picky about vegetables other than potatoes and cabbage apparently, but I know like I had a boss that was like in his
Mhm.
late 50s, and to this day he does not eat 90% of vegetables. Like he'll eat scallop potatoes and salads with
Yeah.
dressing or whatever, and like that's about it. Especially if it's greens, he's not eating those other than salad. Like I think he ate salads, but like that was the most vegetable kind of vegetable he would eat. It was crazy. Like
Mhm.
he'll eat anything but that. It just blows my mind. Like you are just a picky eater for everything. You're kind of you got a bit of the tism probably, but you know that's your excuse. I don't think he
Mhm.
had any of that. I don't think he had that grumbled funky
Non
brain.
schism with the tism.
Uh huh. You got a bit of an acoustic to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you do play the guitar, so it would only make sense. You just need a little fine tuning, as in the fact that you said ugh to scallop potatoes. I almost need to ban you from existence right now just for that. That is such an egregious
What the
to
hell?
humanity. The fact that you do not like scallop potatoes.
Uh,
I don't know. That's pretty crazy, man. Pretty wild. Far from mild. But yeah,
Oh,
it's fair enough. I do
yeah.
know one friend who also doesn't like potatoes, but he likes everything else. It's just
Hmm.
potatoes that he doesn't like. I think he ended up like getting sick once as a kid or something, and that's what did it. Like the kid equivalent
Okay.
to getting blackout drunk from alcohol and puking a bunch and then never being able to touch that kind of alcohol again. He had the kid equivalent of that for potatoes,
Yeah.
which I
Okay.
notice
Well, that
is
makes
an
sense,
interesting.
honestly.
It's an interesting thing that happens on both parallels. Like for kids, it's food, and then when you grow up, instead of doing that with food, you do that with alcohol because you just drink too much. Fortunately, that's never happened to
Yeah.
me. Even on that horrid Saturday a few months ago, where I
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
That
I
was
still have
interesting.
like
Yeah.
15 hours of recorded footage on my computer that'll never see the light of day, and I'm too scared to go through. Uh, I am
Fair.
I'm very susceptible to peer pressure. Oh man, I did
Mm.
kind of want to tell this story on here, and the fact that I'm doing this now and it came to conversation, I might as well. I'm definitely not getting into details, but I had some. Was it Campari? No, it wasn't Campari. That stuff is. Do not drink that straight ever. I was drinking some
Yeah.
cinnamon schnapps, and I'm pretty sure you're like a Fireball enjoyer, aren't you?
No, no, I have absolutely hate Fireball.
Oh, fair enough. You either love it or hate it. Well, anyways, it wasn't like that, but it is a cinnamony drink. It was cinnamon schnapps.
Mm.
It's mainly a cocktail ingredient because it's 50%.
Yeah.
But I was desperate to drink with friends on a very gross game known as VR chat. Ugh.
Uh,
Um. So I grabbed the bottle out of my fridge because I had nothing else. I was desperate, and I don't know. I think I played for like 6 hours until like 4 in the morning, but I did
hmm.
not. Or well, actually, I have no idea how late up I was. But I uh the last thing I remember, I think I started at 12, and the last memory I have of the clock was 6 a.m. Um, and yeah, I was drinking this 50% bottle. It was over 6 hours. Like I thought I had only taken like 5 or 6 swigs, and a couple gulps per each of those. But still, I thought that wasn't that much over 6 hours. Nope, I blacked out after like my fifth or sixth swig. And I thought I only drank like a quarter of the bottle, but by the time I woke up, in my chair with vomit on my desk and my floor beside me, I've never done that. I passed right out in my chair. Um, yeah, no, that
Hmm.
was yeah. I Where was I getting at? Oh yeah, no. When I saw the bottle, it was half empty, and it was like I think it was. How much was it? Was it a 750? There's no way it was only 750 milliliters. It was 16 ounces, and we don't really
Okay.
do ounces, or at least I don't, I guess. But I know the bottle was something like 16 ounces, and yeah, I drank 50% of the 50%. It didn't do
Hmm.
me well. In fact, that Sunday was one of the worst days of my life. I've never had a state of delirium in my mind like that before. Never. And I haven't really taken drugs,
Yeah.
but I've been in
Yeah.
inebriated states, and I have been crossfaded even, but never has my
Yeah.
mind and like thought process been altered to the point that it was there. Like I was thinking in a dream state almost. Like all of my thoughts just became entire scenarios, and like my brain always does scenarios, but these were happening like involuntary, and I could not stop them. But I was also self-conscious about my way of thinking, but it just kept happening anyways. And then fighting, vomiting all over the place, and oh, man, that was the most difficult shower of my life. I spent all day to get into the shower, and then I fought in the shower with myself for like an hour to do anything, and I barely did anything. I don't even think I had the strength to use soap. I just needed to get vomit out of my hair, and that was so difficult to do. I ended up smoking a bit of weed late into the night because yeah, anything at that point, man.
Yeah.
I don't like weed, but anything at this point to cure me of anything, just to help. So I was hungover, dehydrated, delirious, and high, and then I was
Yeah.
nodding off in the shower with all of that going on. Like I felt like I was having a psychotic episode. I think I even ended up dissociating a little bit, like 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 high levels of dissociation, kind of
Yeah.
dissociating. Like basically being in a dreamland in real life. Everything gets fuzzy in your vision, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and for some reason,
Yeah.
every once in a while, if I looked at myself, I've never really like, I've looked at myself and been like, oh, I don't really like how I look here. But it wasn't like that. Like things just looked wrong. Like I saw a few objects that looked wrong, but every time I looked at like some detail about myself, it looked off. Not that it looked different, but it was like I now noticed how it actually looked or something like I put my glasses on for the first time or
Yeah.
something. Like everything looked weird. Like I looked down at my toes and I saw my nails and I was like, no, no, something's really wrong here. I can't put my finger on it, but something just does not look right. I see my beard and it just looks all weird. Not that it looked different from normal, I just had realized how weird it actually looked. Fortunately, that did not stay. My toes and my beard look
Yes.
as they used to, all the same. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It was a very terrible Sunday. I haven't like other than your birthday actually ever since your 18th birthday. I have been on a extreme decline on alcoholism. My tolerance is worse. It just keeps
Mhm.
getting worse, and things don't taste as good anymore. Like I can't even drink coolers. Like or I can, but I mean like even smearing off coolers, they're starting to taste bad. What did you
Hmm.
do to me, dang it? I didn't even like I guess I got pretty drunk on your birthday, but I didn't do anything
Yeah.
that I've done
Yeah.
more. I've done way more. I didn't black out. We all just ended up going to bed. I can't believe I cranked I
Yeah.
busted my neck. That was so out of nowhere too. Like I was just
Yeah.
laying on my bed and I guess I was too close to the edge. Like I wasn't even standing. I just fell off the bed and happened to smash my neck against the coffee table. And fortunately, that
Yeah.
wasn't severe, but it did end up cutting me open. So I didn't
Mm.
bleed too much, which was nice. But yeah, that was yeah. I mean, at least I remember the whole night, albeit a bit
Yeah.
difficult to remember certain parts. There's no like actual lapses in memory or a cutoff point because I didn't black out. But no, whatever you did, you poisoned me or something. I've just you've made me less of an alcoholic. How could you?
That's. Oh yeah. No. How could I?
Yeah, tisk tisk, shame on you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I kind of want to quit
Oh.
drinking if I'm being honest. I've only been drinking 2 years or whatever, but I'm kind of already done.
Yeah.
People don't do the math. I respect the law, but yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, I'm
Yeah. I
forklift
totally do.
certified. I've operated a forklift while certified. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. I haven't done anything illegal.
In the in the uh in the storage unit, straight up forking it, and by it, well, let's just say my pallets.
Um.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, that's I guess to
yeah.
wrap all the way back to the beginning, do you happen to have any more shower thoughts or do you think that that closes it off? I mean, I could just talk about drunk stories this entire time. I have a decent bit of them, but meh. They're not that crazy
Yeah.
really. Other than the
Um.
lap dance in Mexico, but
I.
that had nothing to do with me drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I do. They're not really that interesting. I
Fair
I
enough.
honestly have more stories of me being high than drunk because I don't really drink that much or that often.
Fair enough. Well, I definitely know about some of your high stories, Mrs. Eyes on the Walls.
Yeah.
But maybe if you make a return, we can have a little story about being high
I have
and
a new
drunk.
one
Oh,
too.
you have a new one. Well, you'll have to. We'll have to hear that for the next episode. Not that we're cutting it off here, but I'll leave being drunk and high for next time. You know, I what is it? I think I also happen to have a shower thought for you and the audience because we can hear them and we will actually respond to whatever they say. Hey, look, here's somebody about to ask something right now. No, I'm not. I'm not selling you crack anymore. We're done. But yeah, I answered that person's question. Now I have a shower thought for you, Harley. It's this one came like just before we started the recording. I have an interesting one for you. Something I don't fully understand, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm a bit confused about. How do boomerangs work? I don't really understand. Do you have any inkling of an idea on how boomerangs work? Because I'm a little lost on it, in all honesty.
Boomerang?
Hmm?
Okay, so my something was wrong. You were cutting out so bad, and then for some reason it kicked me out of the call.
Oh, nice. Well, that's cool. Okay, well,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't talking about nothing too crazy. I was just bringing up
Okay.
my shower thought, which was, oh yeah, I just got your
Uh,
message. Nice.
okay.
Yeah, no, my shower thought for you is how do boomerangs work? Because they don't make any sense to me. They I don't get it. It's a piece of wood or like plastic or something, and they just make it in a certain shape, and then you can throw it and it comes back at you. How does that make any sense?
I, I, I don't know, honestly.
Like
I mean, there is something about it, but I honestly don't remember.
how does a weird like slightly bent L, like it's not even a full L most of the time, it's almost like a V, it's just a wooden V, and you
Yeah.
throw it and then it just returns to you like Mjolnir or something? Like what's up with that? How does that make any sense? I don't get that.
Oh, magic,
Oh yes,
probably.
magic, of course.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot
hope
of weird
so.
things like that. There's a lot of weird just phenomenons like, oh, you do this and then this will just happen. I mean, here's all the physics for it, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's still wizardry magic. You can throw all of the random numbers and sentences from old dead people you want, but it still confuses me.
Yeah.
You know, something that would have been crazy back in the day of like, medieval ages or something. Like, sure, a wooden stick that you can throw that
Oh my God.
returns to you would have been insane, but you know what would have been more crazy?
No,
Hmm?
no, because like, oh fuck, people are just gonna start screaming witch at you.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you'd be going witch real quick. But you know what? This would
Ah,
100% without a doubt. If you did this
I'm
back in the medieval ages,
freezing.
you are a witch. Like you're done.
Yeah,
Um, making
yeah, and honestly,
making colored fire using elements like copper to make green, or whatever the other colors are to make other colored fire, or other elements. I don't remember. I just remember a lot of metals. I think it is make. Maybe
yeah.
zinc. Zinc might be one of them. I don't remember.
I think I
PSA:
really
don't go
remember
throwing
copper.
random elements into fires. I just
Please
don't
don't.
like. Yeah, no. I know copper is safe, but obviously you can't just throw a copper ingot into a fire and expect to see a green flame.
Yeah,
Just don't do anything that we say on here, except for maybe use a boomerang. If you get hit in the head, that's your own fault. That's the only thing we really recommend so
honestly,
far. Out of
I
everything we've
found.
talked about, use a boomerang. It's a cool skill. Don't take anything else away from this. Wouldn't be smart, I don't think.
Yeah,
Drink water. H2O is good.
that's good.
Uh,
That's good.
Not
Food,
H2O2.
healthy
Don't
food.
don't drink H2O2. In
No,
fact, do
do
not be
not
near it
drink
at
that.
all.
Please do
Don't
not
drink it.
drink
Don't breathe it.
that.
Don't nothing. Yeah,
The
that
things.
one's
Just do not touch it.
that one's bad. That one's bad.
I actually have a joke about that.
Yeah,
I have a
H2O2.
couple science jokes.
Oh, you got a couple science jokes for us? A bit of dad jokes with
Mhm,
some
mhm.
science-ness to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you got for us, huh?
Okay. Okay. So these two guys walk into a bar. Okay. One of the friends says, "Can I get some H2O2?" His other friend asks, "Can I get some H2O2?" And then he dies. Oh, funny.
You know, I've heard that one before, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. Oh, I see.
That's H2O2
I
poisons.
see. There's some wordplay. Yes, there's a funny wordplay.
Yeah,
Can I get some H2O as
the
well?
best joke.
Yes, very good sciencey joke. They die from poisoning. I understand it like 90% of the way. I'm smart enough, you know. Do you happen to have a another science joke for us? I am unfortunately not very good at actual punchline jokes.
Oh,
I'm better with whatever you would call the past 35 minutes. This is my comedy right here. I we definitely got people
mhm.
absolutely cackling right now, losing their mind. When we said you'd get called a witch for throwing copper and fire, I bet that had people rolling on the floor. That's some real comedy right there, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, with the with a nice little science joke out of the way, I think I have a question of the day for you, if you will.
Oh shit.
I know it's intense. It's a really intense question. It's what is it again? I gotta remember it now. What is the question of the day that I have for you? Uh, I'm blanking. Harley, help! Give us another science joke. Dang it! Why am I?
What? Sorry,
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
you're cutting out
I
again.
I had a feeling I was cutting out. I This has not happened before. I'm not sure why this is happening. Am I good now? Dang, I'm not good, am I? Oh
No,
no.
no. Shit.
Not the technical difficulties 40 minutes in. Well, more like 10 whenever this first started. Am I still cutting? Shower Thoughts podcast, everybody. We're so professional, and there's definitely never things that go wrong. And wasting half an hour to an hour before actually starting recording. Totally not. This never happened. That never happens. I mean, not this, because it's never happened before. Yeah, we're cool over here, everybody. Am I alive yet, Harley?
I think maybe,
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
maybe. Okay, it sounds good.
Okay, that is very cool. I remember that the thing I was gonna say. I have a question of the day for you.
Mhm.
Um, if you had to deal with one of the two extremes, would you rather deal with you know, all things hot or all things cold, extreme heat or extreme cool?
Cold immediately.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. Very good reason too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's hear
If
it.
if I had to do with the extreme heat 24/7, okay, I would die within 2 hours. I would get so sick because I get heat stroke really easily because it's something that happened a very long time ago.
Okay.
And because of that, heat makes me really sick. Really, really sick.
Oh
So,
boy.
yeah, there's no way I'd survive in extreme heat. Cold, I don't like the cold either, but it's more bearable. But not only that, like if I freeze to death, it's just gonna be really cold and
Right.
not it won't hurt after like a few hours.
You see, I have a little bit of the exact opposite argument, but also I do like to think for this question like if you were taking both extremes as in like you're being tortured to death by one of them, which would you rather?
Mhm.
You think you'd still
Torture
like
by
the heat?
yeah, like tortured. Are we talking like let's say for like heat? Are we talking just like how do I explain it? Like branding or like fire against the skin or something, or
Well,
just
like
like
yeah,
heat
like
in
let's say you
general?
get
Like
like set on fire or boiled alive or something.
Okay.
Versus, say, it's I guess it's hard to think of like, or maybe being thrown in a freezer or a frozen lake, in comparison,
Yeah.
or like liquid nitrogen. It's some the two extremes: lava, liquid nitrogen, fire. It There isn't really a cold competitor to fire except for like maybe an extremely frozen lake, I guess. But then why not just the liquid nitrogen? Something. Or just being
Yeah.
like either being in a frozen wasteland naked, or being in a desert covered in clothes.
Hmm. Okay.
Some
Alright,
sense of
well,
the most extreme of extremes.
okay. Let's see. Um, that's actually that narrows it down definitely a lot more.
Yeah, it
So
makes
if
it it's
we're
it's not just like which one
eh,
do you like more, like do you like summer or winter more. That's a little more.
yeah, vague, it's
Yeah, and it's not taking it to the extremes. It's like, well, I like making snow angels. No, do you want to be drowned in a frozen lake, or do you want to be thrown in lava, kind of thing.
yeah.
For me personally, I
Alright.
think I don't know. I Even with how hot everything has been, even working nearly 10 hours every single day this week in the sun
Mhm.
and boiling alive, I think I would still I don't really want to deal with the cold. Where we live, with the wind chill and the negative 40 degrees that I think we've hit, or I think
Yeah.
apparently we haven't gotten past like negative 36, but we've gotten, or but also with wind chill, we've gone past that. It I don't know. I genuinely, like, I love winter and all, but thanks to where we live, I hate winter. It is horrible. It is torture on its own.
Yeah.
It is more torturous than summer has ever been to me, and I nearly killed myself once because I was too stupid to realize I could just open a door in a locked car. I nearly boiled myself alive a few years ago in a car because I wasn't thinking properly.
Mhm.
And I would rather that than
Yeah.
deal with just regular Canadian winter where we live. I hate it so much. It is truly torturous.
Oh yeah.
For at least for me personally, I feel
So
like if you get burnt alive, or if you get boiled alive, it's going to be excruciatingly painful. But what those things do to you, or I don't know about boiling, but I know about fire. Like with extreme heat
no, yeah.
stuff, your nerves get fried. Your nerves die. You don't feel pain
Mhm.
anymore after a certain point. And again, that has to go through your whole body or whatever. Like, you're burning alive. It's painful. It's excruciating, obviously. But with
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I've thought about it, like with winter. Like, say you're in a you're in a forest and you're freezing to death. Basically, it's horrible. Like, I don't know how to describe it. The wind hurts your skin. Like, it feels sharp. Wind feels sharp. It hurts.
It
It
was.
stings.
Ow.
The wind chill here is horrible. It feels like knives. I hate wind chill with a passion. Taking it down 20
Yeah.
degrees. For reference, Americans, we're talking about Celsius this entire time. Except for negative 40, that's the meeting ground between Celsius and Fahrenheit. And fun fact, we basically get it every year. But yeah, no, you're cold, and with heat you get exhausted, so you don't have the ability to expel energy, or it takes away your energy. But that's not what happens in winter. No, when you're freezing, you lose motor functions. It's not that you don't have the energy, it's that your body physically cannot do anything with it. It cannot expel
Mhm.
it. Your body is getting slowed down, your joints stop working, and you shake vigorously and aggressively, and you have no control over yourself. And parts of you start going numb, and you'd think, oh well, I'm going numb, it's just like the fire frying your nerves. No, numbing is terrible. It hurts and it feels weird, despite the fact that it's numb. It's not actually a lack of feeling. It's its own feeling, and typically it hurts, especially in the cold. And you have to feel that start with all of the nubs and the ends of your body, and then it works its way through your body as you're freezing to death.
Mhm.
And there's a couple other things as well. But to wrap up my rant on the cold, at the end of it, when you're freezing to death, your body starts feeling like it's burning up, like heating. And a lot of the time, people who froze to death, they find them naked because they get so hot, or at least they feel like they get so hot, that they have to take everything off of them despite being in the freezing cold. Which means if you're taking cold to an extreme, like, heat versus cold, at the end of the day, with cold, you're still dealing with heat at the end. At least if it's a slow kind of cold death. Wait,
Mm.
I just think, well, that's cool. And at the end of it all, you still have to deal with the repercussions of the heat. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I guess that's me being a little biased though, and sort of throwing in just how winter is in general. Like you can kind of experience most of what I just explained without dying, but it's a lot more extreme when you're dying. But I don't know, like, and then there's
Oh yeah.
frostbite. There's frostbite. Like, yes, you can get heat exhaustion, which is terrible. I've had it once. I would not wish that upon somebody. It sucks. Um, and like you can have heat exhaustion or whatever, or you can get a sunburn. You know what happens in the extreme cold? You get frostbite, where your limbs and digits blacken and they have to be removed. So just sort of like, I
Yeah.
know we're talking about the extremes here, but even just on
Mm.
most accounts in general, the cold kind of sucks. It is kind of stinky. But I would admit, like, let's say we're going for more minor torture
Yeah.
methods, being poked with hot irons and stuff, or like, you know, maybe being boiled or like put in a really hot room or something, like
Hmm.
an unconsensual sauna that's like way too hot. That would suck a lot. Like,
Which is basically when
if
you
someone wants to
burn
get some
alive.
questions out of me, they're gonna be hurting me with heat. If someone just wants me to if someone wants to torture me to death, they're gonna use cold, because you're not gonna get anything out of a guy who can't talk because he is too cold to use his mouth properly. But
Yeah.
you burn a guy, you boil a guy a little bit, maybe touch him with some hot metal. He'll speak up. For all those, for new CIA recruits, here's some torture method tips for you. If you want a really good one, though, why don't you go for the Chinese water method? The water droplets on the head. That's a great one. The chef's kiss. And just continuously
Hmm.
dropping in the same spot until it makes them go crazy. But, we're not talking about
Yeah.
water per se. We're talking about heat versus cold. I guess
Um,
that's my whole thing about it, though. How do you feel about it now with my con, my convincing argument and I guess explanation of the two sides, even though I talked about the cold a lot
yes,
more.
just continuous ranting.
Uh huh.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. So, for my preference, if we're talking about mild forms of torture, when it comes to hot and cold, I would choose probably something hot. If we're talking about like branding or putting just like holding the flame under your hand or something, I feel like it kind of hurts a little less. Not that I have experience with branding, of course, like I've accidentally burnt myself. When you're burning yourself, not like okay, when you get burnt, it's cold for a while.
Yeah.
You don't really feel much heat for most of it, right? Which is probably why I would pick it because when it comes to something cold, like probably standing outside during winter with no shoes or shirt or pants, it's obviously fucking cold. But I don't like the feeling of losing motor functions
No, that's why I
and
really hate
everything
the
just
cold. The
feeling so
loss of
stiff.
motor functions it is torturous. Like just
It's
winter in general in Canada is a torture method on its own, especially when you're,
yeah.
not properly equipped, which I have not been most of the time. It's
Yeah.
really bad.
Hmm. Yeah, well, and most of the time, okay, this it happened technically last year during winter when it was like -36 and I was outside. Okay,
Oh boy.
I had like winter boots, but they didn't really do shit at all. Okay,
Oh man.
my feet were so cold I actually could not feel them
No, that's how it
at
goes, and
all.
it's horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
I don't know.
Not only that, okay, walking inside into the school, it it warms up your feet obviously because it's warmer inside the school than it is
Yeah.
outside, but it makes my feet really burn because
Yeah,
it's so
I
warm
find that
so
odd.
quickly.
I find that odd with warm and cold. Like when something's really hot, it almost feels like you're getting like a cold kind of effect. But when something's really cold, it burns you. It's weird. I think that's not just like a
Yeah.
mind thing though. I think that has something to do with our nerves. When when we experience I
Hmm.
saw this like in some sort of thing a bunch of months ago. When your nerves get like overstimulated with one temperature, they have to go like, hey, other temperature nerves or whatever. Like, it's not like that you have two separate nerves of temperatures, but like
Hmm.
you have two separate gauges within your nerves about temperatures or whatever. So the
Yeah.
one thing gets overstimulated. It's like, there's way too much cold. I don't actually have enough to express how much cold this is. Warmth, I'm going to need your help out here. You got to give me a hand. And, then you can do
Well,
that.
yeah.
And you feel both, kind of. You can actually sort of experiment with it yourself if you want. Like it's really easy. It's a fun at home project. I don't know if it's necessarily bad for you, unless you're going to like boiling hot water on your skin. But if you go to your
Yeah.
sink or something and you
Please
just
don't.
run, you can run not like burn your skin hot, but run water that's like hot. Like it burns, but it's not actually burning you. It's not boiling water. It's just really hot.
Yeah.
If you see steam, that's a little too hot. But get some water that burns you, and then switch it to cold. And as it quickly, if you have a really slow temperature change, this probably won't work as well. But if you have one that like can change really abruptly, as it goes to the cold, you'll get a very strange sensation on your hands, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Doing one or the other, they are slightly different, going from cold to hot or hot to cold, but it can kind of give you an example of with the extreme temperatures, but you were also just dealing with the other one, so maybe it's not the same. But in a controlled environment, you can get an inkling of an idea, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's hot versus cold for you. It's weird. They both suck. If you put me on a planet that didn't actually move at all, so it doesn't have a spinning axis or anything. So one side is really hot and one
Hmm.
is really cold, and let's just say there was a very exact line where the temperatures changed. Put me in the middle of that. Both sides of my body are going to be really upset. I mean, let's ignore the fact I'd be incredibly dead like immediately for so many different reasons, but both
Hmm.
sides of me are going to be upset. Left side, right side, hot, cold. It's not going to be happy. They both suck. But preference wise, I don't know. The cold is kind of stinky. Cold kind of stinks. I do love the winter. No, not
Yeah. No, it's really
no
nice.
bugs really, which is nice. And I was gonna say no allergies, but instead of allergies, you just get sick a lot, like regular sick. So that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bugs
No,
are kind of
I like
weird,
I
but
like
it
winter
is
when
what
it
it
comes
is.
to like.
Like the aesthetic of winter is
Yeah.
amazing, and I don't really love Christmas. I guess like I like Christmas, but it's its own thing. But man, do I love the aesthetic and the songs for Christmas. Christmas songs. There's something about the jingle.
Yeah.
It's not in any other type of style. Like I'm sure that there is a genre that Christmas music is like most of Christmas music. Like when you think
Yeah.
of Christmas music, other than Mariah Carey, there is a vibe there, and there probably is a genre, but Christmas has taken over that genre, so it's not really a known name, at least for myself. Whatever that is, I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. It's just it is festive and it is jolly. It is jolly music, and I just love the jolliness of Christmas. That is a nice thing about winter, and I love snow. Snow is a very cool thing. Powdered snow is cool. It's so
Hmm.
weird, like it's almost like sand, but even more fine and delicate
Yeah.
because it's not a hard grain of rock. It's very cool. Powdered snow is
Mhm.
really cool. Clumped snow is really cool because you can build with it. And you can like make a
Clump,
snow angel
like
with
clump
it.
snow is actually really nice.
Hmm.
Like this clump snow is
Yeah.
actually so nice.
Yeah. Clumped is really
The
really nice.
perfect spherical snowballs you can make.
Man, snowball makers were always fun. The little handheld ones where you just like chomp and then
Hmm.
boom. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
those were the days. Man,
Okay. Okay. One of the
I've
sucky
really
parts
wanted
about
to make an
snowballs,
igloo
though.
man. Or yeah.
Yeah. Is when kids decide to put really big pieces of ice in those snowballs and hit you mad
Oh
with it.
man. Yeah, just straight up attempted murder, pretty much.
Basically.
Yeah, it's kids are cruel.
Hurt.
Bad
You
things
don't
happen to
get it.
good people.
Great.
You're a good person in a cruel world. You know all that jazz, all those sayings.
Yeah. Yeah, you like jazz.
You like jazz? I like jolly. That's what I like. Jolly Christmas music. All I want for
Yeah.
Christmas is Christmas music, baby. Get Frank Sinatra up in here. Brother knows how to sing. Well, although that's a surprise to
True.
nobody. That is a surprise to nobody. And I
Yeah.
know he's very popular, but I really love him. And I found him myself by accident. Like I didn't stumble upon it because it was big. It was like some big song on. I've never even seen it on Instagram, but let's just say like I saw it on Instagram or something. I didn't. I
Mhm.
found him myself by accident like a really long time ago. So screw anyone that says, "Oh,
Yes.
well, he's just really big and popular." That's not a crazy opinion. Well, it is when I made it by myself without the influence of the internet and people. I didn't discover it from Sing, that's for darn sure.
Yeah.
Although I will say, Mr. Family Guy Man himself can really make a Frank Sinatra impression. He was basically born for it. He's
Oh, yeah,
actually a
no, I
very
saw
good
that. That was
singer.
awesome.
He is a very good singer. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard Jay Schlatt sing My Way? Like a non AI version?
I have.
The real thing? It's actually
Yeah,
insane.
no,
Like
I,
he's not the
yeah.
greatest singer in the world, but it's really impressive. And he holds some of those notes really well. And it's just
Oh,
like,
definitely.
wow. I was really impressed by it.
Hmm.
Because, like, when you just hear a YouTuber go out of nowhere and they're just like, boom, look at me. I can sing and I'm not even known for it. I don't even do music on my side. I'm just good at this somehow. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
Another person that shocked me is Markiplier when he decides to sing in his A Heist with Markiplier. When he's in prison, he has a song. I think it's
Yeah.
called I Don't Want to Be Free. If you haven't heard it, I recommend listening to it. It's a very good song. He, I don't know how to describe it, but let's
Yeah,
just
no, it's
say
really not bad.
he hits a really high note in there, and it's just like, dang, that's pretty cool. And again, he's not the greatest singer
Yeah.
in the world, but it's impressive. It's shocking.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive.
Watch those two guys duet something, that'd be wild. Although they did, very different music, but a brother can dream.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I sing a lot. I do jingles and whatnot for one reason or another, but it's unfortunately
Uh-huh.
not like I'm definitely not good by any means, not at all. I don't necessarily sound good to myself, but it's just like, oh well, I'm hitting around the range of these notes, like I'm getting the tune, and I'm thinking of the thing I like, so it's just like, yeah, this is cool. I like this, but I'm not actually good in like any sense at all. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
flat, I
I
think.
like singing.
Well, yeah, but you probably actually
Yeah.
have some talent, you goober.
I kind of I took like a choir class for one semester. but
Well, that'll definitely do it more than
I guess I
my
do
no musical experience like at all.
fair. I do like singing. I don't definitely am not the greatest. I think I'm okay. It's like an average singer, but it's
Yeah,
only to like certain music.
that's fair. I mean, like for me, like it's just literally nothing at all. I do not have any singing in me. I just sing a lot, but I'm not a singer by any means.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think just perchance I might have a fun fact for you.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's a nifty one. So, did you know there can be 450 insect parts and 9 rodent hairs in every 16-ounce box of spaghetti, and many other disturbingly high allowance rates of animals and their parts in food products? Isn't that something?
Uh, I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah, no, it's like
Interesting.
you can have like rat feces 9 parts per million in a can of soup or something. There's all factories are like that. At the end of
I
the
mean,
day, it's because it's
yeah.
basically impossible to have a completely clean thing, so they have an allowance rate because they'd have to spend more money than they make to actually keep it as clean as possible, which some would argue makes them lazy. It's like, well, if they just put in a little more effort, there would be no issues, but some things are just unavoidable,
Yeah.
like mice and rats. They get into every building. Except for Alberta, we don't have rats. We're pretty cool. But um, other
Yeah.
than that, mice and cockroaches and bugs and all that kind of stuff, it gets into things. It will get into food. So instead of them just always having lawsuits on their hand, they have an allowance rate and they have it get checked, or at least a majority or an amount of their things get checked to see, is this within the allowable rate? But that is such a weird thing to me. There will be a person who can check on food and they will see a hair in it, and it's like, oh, well, that was only 3 hairs, so we're good. You guys are good. In all of this pile, there was only 3 rodent hairs, so we're fine. But that is still a rodent hair that someone would basically have ended up eating. And I'm not even
Yeah.
talking about like natural colors being used in food in which it's crushed up bugs or one of the ingredients of artificial strawberry. Well, that's kind of its whole own shtig. It's that otter semen. Yeah, it's weird though that
Mhm.
yeah you can think about the fact that there is an allowance rate, which means there is an amount of stuff that should not be in food is in food. At least sometimes. It's weird.
At least sometimes.
Just sometimes, get a nice long angel hair in your
Yeah.
angel hair pasta.
Oh, no, I can't. Oh,
No
okay, speaking of hair and food,
hair cake.
this didn't happen to me. This happened to my mom. Okay, when she was coming up to come see me,
Okay.
she got a an ice cream from Mary Brown's. I think it was Mary Brown's. That or
Oh, cool,
Dairy
cool.
Queen. But she was eating her ice cream and she pulled this really long hair out of her throat. She
Oh,
like almost swallowed the whole thing. Just pulled it out.
I think I've had one hair go
Ugh.
down my throat and I had to pull it out, and man, was it a horrid experience.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's one of the things that I just can't stand is just hair in my mouth or
Yeah, no, it's not nice. It's so
just
terrible. Like having hair blow in my face is
God.
annoying, but when it gets in my mouth, it's just like unbearable.
Yeah.
It's not good. Not nice. Nobody likes hair in the throat and having to
No.
pull it out
Yeah.
like glitter in the eyeball.
I had an image like that. That
Yes, I know.
was
That's what I was thinking of because you sent me that image.
yeah.
Put
Yeah,
glitter in
it's
your
funny,
eyeballs,
but
dang it.
uh,
Like almost paint would be
okay.
better because you can wash that out, but glitter, like that stuff's definitely ending up behind your eyeballs. If a
Yeah.
contact can end up behind your eyelid, an eyeball, then glitter definitely can.
Hmm. Okay, well, technically, stuff can't actually get in behind your eyeball. It just gets really stuck in between your eyeball and eyelid,
Fair. Have you
which,
seen that one image
thank
though, where the
God.
chick had to go get surgery because she had somehow unknowingly let like 14 contacts slip into behind somewhere in her eyeball
Yeah,
while she was sleeping? Like that's a
yeah, that's what I was
lot.
thinking of.
There is some space in there. It just
It's
doesn't
just
go all the way
terrifying
behind.
amount.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
there's a
forget about your
lot of space.
contacts, people. Do not sleep with them in. It's not even good for you,
No.
especially if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fun time,
Not.
unfortunately.
No.
Although I do have a fun time. Before we
Mhm.
wrap things up, I'm sure you've noticed, as maybe some new people tuning in have. With the little logo we got going on here. It's pretty nifty and interesting, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so other than there's a little bit of remodeling going on. Ignore what's going on around the whole thing. We're having some construction. So some very interesting things happened last episode. There might be a person held captive in a sense. Let's just say I spent a lot of money on steel welding and concrete, but that doesn't matter. Um, we're gonna ignore that. Nobody cares about construction. It's fine. Um, what we have here is probably some very strange shapes you might have noticed around the logo, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I have one last kind of question before things
Uh
end,
huh.
and it's let's just imagine yourself. You just bought a brand new house, right? And you got this brand new house, and
Okay.
you have nothing. Like you bought a house, you don't have anything to bring in. You got to get a whole new like you're furnishing the whole house or whatever. You got to fill it with things, and you don't have anything yet. But
Uh
let's
huh.
just focus on the bathroom and or the shower, one of the two. If you could add one of anything to your bathroom or shower, one of anything at all, what would it be? And if you'd like, I can give you some examples of what we're seeing here. But you can also just take a wild guess
Okay.
because it's likely you're not going to guess these things by accident. That is for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. If I could add anything to a bathroom.
Yeah, one. If you could add one of any kind of thing to your bathroom or shower, what would it be? And it can be like
Okay.
something
I,
really minuscule,
well,
or it could be like some really crazy. Like you don't really have limits here, but you can also just go like small. Like you could have Windex if you really wanted for cleaning the mirror.
yum.
Exactly.
Okay. 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 Three ideas.
Three ideas.
Two of
Okay.
them are yeah, two of them are definitely impractical, but
Okay.
is it would still be kind of fun to have. So one of them, right,
Yeah.
is probably just like plants, just in the shower,
Okay.
because for one, I think it looks nice, but also because it can just water the plants, especially for specific plants that need
Okay.
to be
Okay.
watered constantly, basically.
Right. Right. I see what you're
The
saying. I
other
see.
one, yeah. So the other one would probably be a mini fridge
A mini
because this
fridge.
one time,
Okay.
hey, hear me out. Okay, this one time, so nice, so good. Okay, I went and got food. I can't remember where. It was a really good bacon burger. Okay, and a Coke. Right. I bring my food in with me into the bathroom before I have a shower. I have a shower, I get out, and I just eat it before I leave. And honestly, one of the best feelings ever.
Wow. Okay. So you're thinking
I
like
don't know
if you can just
why.
have a mini fridge in your bathroom, so you can just grab something after a shower, or grab a drink before the shower.
Yeah, exactly. Like a nice cold beverage after you get out of like a warmish shower. You know how the bathroom fogs up and it gets all like muggy in there?
Yeah.
Honestly, it feels really good.
You know, I have this
Now,
crazy concept for you
yeah.
before you give your last thing away. You ever had a shower beer? Let me tell you,
Oh my God.
a shower beer hits like
Okay.
nothing else. Not even a 1940s man when his dinner is not cooked properly.
Okay. I don't drink, I don't really drink beer at all because I personally don't like it. I'll have it with Clamato juice, but like that's about it. Not by itself. But my Bubba, okay, was talking about how so many people have shower beers and have left beer cans in their shower.
I think I ended up
There's
leaving the
just been
four
so
I
many people who've
drank,
done
or the three or four. I think I left them in my shower for like a week or two. To be fair, it's just my shower, but they did stay in there
it.
for a
Yeah.
long while, just sitting on the shelf. It's yeah, it was something.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. What I like
Yeah.
are seltzer. No, not seltzers. I don't even remember what those are.
Mhm.
How am I? Coolers. A shower cooler is where it's at. Yeah, no, that it's.
Okay.
I tell
That's
you what, if you
they're
haven't
definitely
done it, you
different.
should probably do it. Unless you're watching this video, then don't try this at home. We're professional alcoholics. Yeah, but yeah, shower beers, shower coolers, they're
Yeah.
great. Maybe a shower rum and coke. And again, that's exactly why a mini fridge would be good, keeping all of your drinks cold and stuff, and food. I mean,
Mhm.
I have always heard about the
And
experience.
food.
I don't think I've tried this myself, but I have had like essentially the same situation. I just didn't do the exact thing. But you're going swimming and stuff, and then you come out of the pool and you have a sandwich on a like a nice styrofoam plate. You got a sandwich and some chips.
Mhm.
That smacks. Now, something I've heard that I've never done, and I wish I did, was putting the chips inside of the sandwich and then eating it, while just after getting out of the pool. Now imagine essentially being able to do that getting out of the shower. Or, even bringing something in the shower, although I don't know how many foods would be good to eat in a shower, unless you have like a really good drainage system, or you're just not messy and you don't mind soggy food. But yes, that is quite the idea.
Mhm.
And what is this third idea you
Yeah.
had? I'm curious now.
Okay. It's definitely the most impractical.
Okay.
Uh, it's same concept, two different ideas. Either like waterproof TV. Hear me out. Okay, with like good speakers hooked into the roof of your bathroom, playing music sounds so nice. But
Mm-hmm.
hear me out. If you're not into like a TV, depending on how big your shower is, if it's opened or closed, doesn't matter. Just I'm pretty sure they have these already, but something to put near your shower and put your phone in.
Okay. So like
You
a
know?
some sort of container for your phone or something?
Yeah, definitely not like a plastic baggie or anything, so I'll just fog up. Like a fog-proof container or something that you're able to protect your screen with.
Okay, okay. You'd actually be shocked, but fun fact, Ziploc bags do not fog up in the shower.
So you don't?
No, they don't. I'm speaking from a lot of
Huh.
experience because I am way too autistic to not have constant stimulation while I'm eating, showering, or sleeping. It's bad. It's gotten to a bad point.
Uh,
That is where I am in
yeah.
life. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those are some good ideas. I actually have some good news for you though. The one of the items in this little thing here, the black box in the top right, that is actually a TV. And it has
Mhm.
wheels on it. It actually moves around the whole bathroom, including into the shower.
Oh, that's sick.
Right? It is pretty cool. It do
Awesome.
be pretty cool. And yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's it's just overall pretty neat, pretty fun, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think those are some very good ideas. I think they will be nice on this wall of collection. I would, go and explain what everything that's here, but I am unfortunately running out of time, so I think I will end things here. As much as I'd like to keep going, I'm a
Yeah.
busy man, sadly. So, at some point I'll probably explain what these are to you. If, the people who are viewing this have been following along from the
Yeah.
beginning, they know what these things are, including the mirror, which I keep forgetting the original purpose of. I really need to go back to the episode where that was conceived because I keep telling people the most outlandish thing possible, and I don't think that was either the only purpose or the purpose at all. But that's fine. Somebody knows. Hopefully, I don't. If this is your first episode, I recommend watching the others. Some of them are pretty good. The first one's a little weird. It's just me for 15 minutes, but that doesn't mean it's bad. But yes, thank you very much, Harley, for joining me on this podcast today
Yeah, of
and getting me to
course.
finally do it again. It's been at least a month, if not longer. No, I think I
Yeah,
was
no,
holding
I
on
had
to
lots
a
of fun.
recording for a long time. It's been over a month, so it's been a while. It's been a while for me, and it's been fun. I hope you've
Yeah.
enjoyed yourself as well. It's been a
Oh,
half enjoyable experience, a little bit maybe.
yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
had lots of fun. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Honestly, come back anytime. There isn't really
Mhm.
any reservations. People just, exist. Come on, talk,
Yeah.
laugh, say something offensive, and then
See
dip.
ya.
Basically, yeah, exactly like that. You come and go, and that's the coolness of it. That's just how it goes. And I've actually, I was not prepared for that. She just straight up left. Okay, that's not how I was expecting that to go. But yes, that was my cool friend Harley, one of my few pals that I know of existence. Um, Thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you haven't left unexpectedly like she did. But that's the Shower Thoughts podcast. Woo! Go take a shower maybe, have some shower thoughts, and get back to me and something. That'd be nice. Uh, and yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.